Hey everybody. So thank you for clicking on the video. Today we're going to be going over polygons in Scratch. So as you could see on the left hand side, you could see there's an arrow, which is our sprite, which we call our cat for now, and you can see a triangle that's been drawn in the stage area. And on the right, you could see the script that we use to create the triangle or to make the sprite draw out the triangle. And you could see a side note by our instructor. So why are drawing polygons really important in Scratch? Well, let's say for example if you have a game like a line game or a maze and you want to make the sprite draw out the stage or draw out the different objects in the stage area. So that would be really nice to have. So that's why we have this polygon right here, and that's why we're going to see what happens when you put in different arguments or different numbers in these two bubbles right here. So as you can see, with everything that we do, we always start with an events block. So we always go here, we always start with the events block, and for this case we use the when the play button or when the green flag is clicked. And with that in mind, we have a set coordinate we want our sprite to go to. So remember that when you're clicking on a sprite or when a sprite is highlighted, the script that you see is always associated with that sprite. So we're telling the program, listen, I want this sprite to be at this coordinate, -100 on the x-axis, and -100 on the y-axis. Right here, right where the arrow is. And I want you to point 90 degrees. So as you can see, it's pointed 90 degrees, and when we say 90 degrees, we mean I want the sprite, or the arrow in this case, to point to the right. Now, whenever you draw something, or you make the sprite draw something, it's always important to go over to pen, and to set the pen color. Now, typically what you could do is use this block where you could click on this little box right here and drag your mouse over whatever color you want to choose. But in this case, we use an argument such as 120. So you can put in different arguments for different colors. So if I put in 100, for example, it'll be a light blue or turquoise color, or like an aqua color. So as you could see, we could change the color by simply putting in a new number whenever we want to change it. So let's change it back to 120. And as you can see, we have a little pentagon going on here. So we have a pentagon shape, and that's denoted by the 5 here in the repeat box or repeat block, and a 5 here in the operator block within this motion block. So you set the pen color to 120 or whatever color you choose, and we set the pen size to 2. So why do we set the pen size to 2? So the reason being is that sometimes if you were to set it to a smaller number or a larger number, it may be too small or it may be too large. So let's see what happens when we put in 1, for instance. You could see that the pen drawing was a little bit too thin, but if we put in 2, it's almost perfect. We could see the shape and it's visible enough for anybody to see. Now, when you're using the pen blocks, it's always important to put in the block pen down, because if you don't put this in, then sometimes the pen just won't show up. But in this case, it did. So that's always a good thing. But you always want to make sure that you put the pen down so that you could tell the program, listen, put the pen down, start drawing when I start the program. And we have clear so that we could clear any previous drawings we have on our stage area. Now we put in the repeat block. Now the repeat block is very important for drawing any shape on the stage area because we're telling the program, listen, for every side that we put in, denoted by the 360 divided by 5 in this case, I want you to repeat that many times so that we can have that many sides. Simply repeating this or changing this argument won't do. We have to change this as well. So let's say, for example, if I do 4, see, it only does 4 sides of the pentagon. That's why we need to change this value as well. And see, now we have a square. Now, why do we have 360 divided by 4? Well, remember that a circle is 360 degrees. So any shape that we do, that we draw, right, has to be based on that measurement. So that's why we have 360 degrees divided by 4. So that way we tell the computer, listen, of the 360 degrees that we would find in a circle, I want you to only turn 4 of those. So what is 360 divided by 4? Well, 360 divided by 2 is 180. That divided by 4 is 90. Or that divided by 2 is 90. So we have 90 degrees going across. So it goes 90 degrees, then another 90, and then another 90. So it's always important to keep that in mind whenever you're using the operator argument to create a polygon. So if I wanted, let's say, a 6-sided shape, you see that? Now let's do something a little crazy. What if I wanted a 10-sided shape? You see? So remember, whenever you create a polygon or tell your sprite to draw a polygon, right, you always want to denote it by the number of degrees in a circle divided by how many sides you want. And you want that to repeat as many times as the number of sides. Now moving 60 steps, that's just simply moving 60 steps for each side. And of course, since it's already repeating, it's going to be 60 steps for each side of our shape. So if I were to change it to 12, for example, it would be a different number of sides, but it would be the same length for each side as we did with our previous shapes. So let's get back to 5. So remember, whenever you want your sprite to draw a polygon, remember to click on the sprite. Always use an event block. An event block always starts your program. Then we go to our motion, and we go down to where it says go to X and Y coordinate. And then we go up here where it says point in direction 90 degrees. So we're telling the computer, listen, I want my sprite to go to this coordinate right here, and I want it to be pointing 90 degrees. Then we go to our pen tag. And when you go to the pen tag, you set the pen color, set the pen size. You put the pen down as if you were putting the pen down on a piece of paper. You can't draw on a piece of paper if the pen is in the air, right? So the same concept applies in Scratch. And you want to clear everything else that was on the stage area before. Then we go to our Control tab, click on Repeat, get the repeat block there, remember, because we want it to repeat the number of times as many sides as the shape we want. We move 60 steps merely for measurement of each side. And we turn 360 degrees divided by 5, or divided by as many sides as we want in our shape. Remember what we said. 360 degrees is the number of degrees total in a circle. So we always tell the program, listen, of the number of degrees in a circle, I want you to divide that by 5, and that's as many sides as I want in my shape. Well, I hope you learned how to create a polygon in this video. Click on the comments below, leave a comment below, click like, and subscribe to the YouTube channel for more videos and updates on more lessons. Thank you.